Welcome back, Bulldogs, to another edition of Bulldog Esports. We have some great Overwatch games coming to you tonight. My name is Wonderscore,
And I'm Tong Fu.
and this is TESPA week
Week 8.
week 8 we're going into. Current record for our Crimson team, 8-6. We're looking to improve that win rate just a little bit. Had kind of a rough week last week.
Yeah, a little rough week last week. Also, coming out from Western Michigan Overwatch Community Invitational, hosted by Western Michigan Broncos.
Yeah, so we traveled out to Western. They have a great esports arena, one of the few in Michigan right now.
Yeah. Also, don't forget to check out if you're interested in checking out that tournament. It's at Western Michigan's Twitch page.
WMU Esports, I do believe. You can see all the VODs of our matches. I think at least 2 of them were streamed.
Yeah.
But especially the grand finals, which we unfortunately lost against Western defending their home turf. But we got that second place, and we got that sweet check of $700.
Yeah. Third place, Ohio State came in. Ohio State was there. Siena Heights was there. They took fourth. Trine Esports was
Trine,
there.
Aquinas, there's 2 others that we're missing right now.
Of course, Western.
Yeah, of course, Western, CMU.
CMU was there. Good job.
But yeah, 8 teams total, and we came in second. So it was a pretty good match. I mean, the first 2 games, we had 3 games in our bracket. First 2 we dominated, and then Western dominated us back, unfortunately.
A little disappointing to see that we couldn't watch one of their matches. They were played behind a curtain and everything.
Yeah, but it was a great stage all around. I mean, it was great to watch in person, especially. We had some of our own Ferris fans. We became good friends with Siena Heights. Shout out to Siena Heights. Go find all their social media. Do our best to promote them. Shout out to Adam. Yeah, one of our players that subbed for the support role somehow garnered the attention of everybody. Became a fan favorite. I have no idea how it happened.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun seeing that with the cheering and everything. To me, I was in the crowd cheering on Ferris. I felt like I was at a football game with the cheering going on. And
yeah, absolutely.
It was a lot of fun. I would expect them to actually run another invitational and everything.
I would hope so.
Hopefully in the winter again.
Yeah, because it looks great for everybody. I mean, even if you go 0-3, I mean, it's a great time to be around other people who are like-minded with Overwatch. It was crazy to be in a crowd that was all cheering for Overwatch.
It wasn't even that big, but
exactly.
People who were there, it was just exciting to watch.
Yeah, it was a great time. We got to find a lot of other great players to talk to, and whether we beat them, whether they beat us, I mean, it was a lot of strategy and everything, and it was just a great display of production too. I got to cast a little bit, and then after that, I got to scream my brains out.
Yeah, you did a good job at casting.
Thank you.
It took me by surprise. I didn't know if one of the casters had the go or anything, or if they just wanted a guest caster, because I know they invited you, I think, specifically just for casting.
Yeah, they contacted our e-board member, our president of the esports club, and they're like, hey, we know you have pretty good production as well. And I just got an opportunity, so I get to cast about 2 or 3 games. Unfortunately, not a Ferris game. I would have been terribly biased, unforgiving.
Yeah. Shout-outs to Bluefin for playing for Western. They were they were really, really good. They stomped their butts. But hopefully we can turn that around and use that motivation to stomp Rutgers, who we are also facing tonight for our first match.
Yeah, so Rutgers University along with Arkansas State. Rutgers will be our first one starting in just a few minutes here. Arkansas will be on the way at 9 or 9:30? 9:30. Meanwhile, though, if you're waiting on the stream, go check out our social media. Twitter at Ferris Esports. You can find our Discord server, Facebook, and everything else at ferrisesports.club. Discord server especially, where all of our communication takes place. And then if you are here on campus, Big Rapids Ferris campus, you can come on down to a UCB 209?
211.
211, thank you.
Every other week.
I should know this. I'm an e-board member.
Yeah, 211 every other week at 11 a.m.
Yeah, we'll post in the Discord when the public meetings are. So come on down and we'll get you involved in anything if you haven't been part of the club.
If you missed the meeting, I think they're going to be starting out meeting minutes, or to me that would be nice to have and everything. We're
definitely going to get more of a recap going.
Yeah, because I know everybody's not able to make it to the meetings, so especially me sometimes, even though I'm a team leader. So I'm also, by the way, I'm the team leader for the Overwatch Gold team. We're not playing tonight. Shout out to them.
Yeah, we got the Overwatch Crimson just tonight, and I think Varsity is done with their season with TESPA.
Varsity's been done for a couple weeks now, so we decided not to play in the last week. We had round robin bracket and everything. the first team that we played against, they forfeited, and then we had the second team. Fortunately, like, they contacted me instead of like the team leader for some reason, which is Milk for that team. So I had to tell them that we forfeited and everything.
Right.
But I think we made it to like round 64, or not round 64, like we made it to like the round of 64. If that makes sense. So.
Yeah, TESPA right now almost concluding for the semester before we go into the next
4 weeks. 4 weeks left.
4 weeks left. Yeah. So only a few more games for some of our students. I know especially our team captain Jono, aka Ricochet, apparently is going to be graduating soon.
Yeah,
in his 17th year.
Hopefully he will be our coach and everything. He's been a good coach for the Overwatch Gold team. He's helped us improve a lot, and I don't know much about the Crimson team, how much he's been coaching them, but I know he does shares input with everybody on that team, because I watch their scrims sometimes just for
absolutely.
the heck of it, from Milkstream or for whoever Jono is casting and everything.
Absolutely. I mean, he kind of took it upon himself. I think he even rebranded himself as Coach Ricochet.
Yeah, he rebranded. I thought that was pretty clever right there.
Yeah, so I mean, he's definitely sort of the brains of the team, but I do know that we have some other great players as well. If you're interested in coaching, playing, casting, please casting. We need more casters for everything. Come on down to the meetings. Come contact us in Discord. We have plenty of games besides Overwatch. Overwatch is definitely the most consistent one so far.
We have Rocket League. We have Rainbow Six. We're also looking to start a COD team.
League of Legends.
Yeah, we have League of Legends team. We have a couple of those. Like I said, we're also looking to start a COD team because TESPA just announced COD Duel and everything.
Really?
Just over the weekend. So that was tweeted out on our social medias. If you're looking for information, just go check out our social media for that, or just hop on the Discord and message our president and everything, who's Jono. So somebody was also looking to maybe starting a Fortnite team. If there's enough interest for that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're trying to accommodate every single game we can, as long as you can get a team, as long as you can get a league. I mean, we'll do everything we can to support you as e-board or as team leaders. And besides that, if you just want to play games casually with other Ferris members, I mean, we have 200 something people now in our Discord.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Consists of people who play casually and everything, or people who just play competitively, on the teams and everything. I'm more of one of the casual / competitive players. Even though I play on the Overwatch Gold team, and lead it, I like to play more casually, to be honest. So I'm not a bunch of sweat lords like Crimson. I'm calling them sweat lords. So.
Nah, they deserve it. They're sweating all over. No, but let's talk about PTR coming up for Overwatch.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Tanks. I mean, looks like some of their shields got gutted, but a lot of their other abilities got buffed. Like Risa, on the other hand, she's able to move faster. Her pull, I believe, cooldown got reduced a little bit.
I think it was Fortify, actually.
It was Fortify. I didn't know if her pull got messed around with or not.
I think they should keep pull as it is. I think it's the number one, ability's fine. Everything else about Arisa, though, was a little bit overtuned.
Armor got buffed. Was reverted back from 3 to 5, back to what it was before, the whole GOATS meta and everything. One person I would look out for is Hammond and everything. I think he's going to be a real sleeper in this meta, and with being with Winston and everything.
Yeah, people are definitely trying to predict metas. Right now, it's really hard to say. Some people are going with the stubborn route of no, double shield's here to stay. It's not going to change. But I think one thing for sure is that Reinhardt, I think, is going to be a little more in the meta as he got his speed buff. Armor now makes him just better.
Yeah, he also got fortified.
Steadfast.
Steadfast. That's
yeah, it's passive.
His steadfast. He can move as fast as as fast as a soldier in a Lucio speed, which is really scary to see.
Yeah, it is definitely scary. It's definitely all the tanks now have more of a speedy role. It makes them a little more samey, but I definitely think that we have more room just to experiment right now.
Yeah.
We're not locked into that bunker composition anymore.
I know I'm going to be experimenting with Hammond and everything, because I think he is going to be a huge sleeper with this, since he didn't really get directly buffed, but with the armor change coming out, I think he will get a huge increase in playtime, as well as being shown more in the meta, or at least given a better opportunity to be played in the meta. One other character that comes to mind is also Brigitte.
Brigitte.
Brigitte. Thank you.
I don't know. It's several combination of accents.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brigida is definitely going to be I don't know exactly when she's going to fall, but she's definitely going to fall somewhere because, I mean, she has armor abilities, and with this buffed armor, it's absurd sometimes. So we had that before, the like everlasting rally armor and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
That got kind of toned back a bit. They reworked her quite a bit to make her more of a healer.
They're still reworking her to extend a little bit.
I would say so.
It does look like we're going to be jumping into our first map, Nepal. It looks like it's going to be Nepal Shrine, I believe.
Yeah, unfortunately, with these TESPA games, we will not get the new meta, or the new PTR rather, but we'll see more of the old meta. But first, let's get accustomed to our players that we're about to see coming into this.
Yeah.
So cutting it close, we're into the game now. Right now we are seeing more of the double shield that we've seen all before. We have a new player actually. Let's see if we can spectate him. On the Reaper right now.
Quinning's the new player on the team. I've been watching him a little bit in Ferris Crimson scrims and everything, and they're looking to put him on TPS and see how everything goes. I've heard a lot of great feedback about him.
But right now, it's Bryce stealing the show, already getting 2 picks, 3 picks. Enemy Doomfist getting 1, but
Quinning coming in and also stealing the kill right there.
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of got run over there. Quinning took one side of the capture point, and Bry just kind of rushed into the other. It worked out perfectly for them. We now see Bry already has his Meteor Strike ready to go. That's going to be a pretty early sort of snowball there, potentially. Can't be a high ground right now. I'm trying to see if any stragglers are trying to take the high ground advantage.
Let's see if the Rutgers can actually come in and snowball their way back against Ferris and everything.
There we go. Bry with the dive in. He does get stopped by, I think, a Doomfist punch early on. Doesn't manage to get out. Doesn't have to expend his ultimate quite yet.
Rutgers are looking to come in with Doomfist on the right side. Not able to poke at, and not able to get in there to create an opening for the Rutgers.
Yeah, Death Blossom is almost coming online. Right now, though, that's a big pull.
That was a huge pull by Ricochet.
Yeah, both damage ults coming out right now. Maybe a little necessary, but I mean, it definitely cleared out the team for him.
Sometimes you have to throw out an extra ult in there just to win a team fight, but it does look like that Ferris is also coming up with Sound Barrier currently.
Yeah, I mean, they use both damage ults, but I mean, they already have the 4 others ready to go. I don't know if Rutgers have gotten off enough damage to potentially even have anything going into this fight. Either way, even if they do have this Graviton Flux coming out, Adam is ready with that Sound Barrier. But we see our own Graviton Flux coming out first against their Coalescence.
Yeah, Coalescence coming out to pump heals into everybody so the Rutgers can stay out, but it looks like the Coalescence is not going to be capitalized on by the Rutgers as they fall one by one.
Yeah, I think they just at a severe disadvantage state just beneath those stairs. I mean, you don't have a lot of wide open areas. You can literally just kite right or left. And then, Adam almost went down there.
It looks like DPS for the Bulldogs are looking to catch the Rutgers off guard to see if they can pull that off.
Flux coming in. Adam, immediate response to that, as it is in this meta. Will be taking a lot of damage, though. He has to get out of there. He does not quite. And it looks like Rutgers are finally getting everything back. A big Death Blossom in the middle of it. Quinning does manage to get one, but now it is a Ricochet. Only one left on the point.
That was a great pull by the Rutgers right there. I believe that was the pull from the Rutgers.
Yeah, they did.
From Ricochet.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates back to retake that point, but we now see that we have a Coalescence of our own on Telos, along with that Meteor Strike. So if they can get more of that coordination going, especially that momentum shift with the Coalescence, I think they retake this pretty easily. They did get all the way to 99, so at this point, Rutgers is fighting a very uphill battle.
Yeah, Bears looks like they're going to be a little patient with this and everything. It looks like they're going to be pushing in Coalescence pretty soon. And my guess is that they're going to be using pull along with Doomfist's ult to see if they can get a few people here and there.
Yeah, great avoidance from the supports. They didn't even help from their tanks. Milk getting a stray pick at the very beginning of it, and right now Telos is just using his ultimate just to cap it off. They hardly even needed it to begin with. Rutgers just kind of getting a little bit run over there.
Just a little cleanup.
Yeah, maybe this wasn't playing around with shield as much as they could, but either way, that will be Ferris State taking the first map of Nepal.
Yeah, looks like the Bulldogs have gotten a little bit better with their double shield.
Yeah, we definitely have to talk about, you mentioned this to me beforehand, but we actually have some role switches. So, funnily enough, Adam was actually a sub for support back at the Western Invitational, but now I think he's actually playing it just as a role swap. We now see Milk instead on the off-tank position.
I talked to Milk earlier today, and he said that him and Jono are communicating a little bit more. So they're putting Adam back on to support, taking Milk's spot, so that way they can run Milk on the off-tank position. Maybe a little bit more on the main tank position sometimes.
Yeah, speaking of Milk, we're seeing him on this hog, so we're going to see a halt hook combo, opting not for the double shield. Maybe perhaps because it's because of the pits on this map, or maybe there's confidence on it after that first performance. We see double shield on the side of Rutgers, though, at the big May wall to try to isolate Ricochet. They do manage to peel from pretty well going into the other side of the room in order to try to just alleviate some pressure, and that's Milk getting the first pick already.
Yeah, Rutgers aren't really able to capitalize on that May wall, which usually you see a lot of teams like just go straight in onto the enemy team right there. Telos with the triple kill.
Yeah, Telos probably just getting tons of that damage with that orb and then just by grasping his way to victory. Yeah, Milk taking a lot of damage onto the shields. I mean, Rutgers probably didn't predict the hog coming out, but they definitely took the worst route in order to deal with it.
Usually in these type of scenarios, you see mirror comps with this type of stuff. You see usually double shield ran by both teams, but probably caught Rutgers off guard right there.
Yeah, this Coalescence coming in.
Coalescence coming in from Telos, yeah. He's keeping up his team and everything. Hopefully, the Bulldogs are pulling through with this fight.
Yeah, doing this rising a lot of healing, actually. I thought they may have used it just as sort of a tempo, but some of his team members may have died if not for it. So as they push through that choke, they just get all of the damage from that hog, and especially that Orisa.
The Bulldogs should probably be coming up with a few ults here, which should give them the opportunity to keep the Rutgers back.
Absolutely. We'll look at Quinning here. We're about ready with Death Blossom. We'll see if they get anything going. Bry, though, does have his Meteor Strike. They'll rely on that instead. The pole does not quite get anybody. He does manage to get out at least, though. Wall nearly gets Quinning, but he does have that Wraith Form to get out. Milk, Whole Hog. And right now, all of these ultimates just have so much damage streaming into one single Darway. This Sigma is sort of trying to 1v6 right now, and we will go down. Bry's caught, but it does not matter because the rest of the team is right behind him.
Seems like that the Bulldogs are able to capitalize on the fact that the Rutgers are playing a little bit more split up right now, which is something you don't really want to see from a team, like especially in double shield, because in double shield you want to stick together because you're relying on those shields. You can tell that the Rissa along with the Mora were cut off from Sigma, so it seems like a little miscommunication on the Rutgers end right there.
More than anything, I think Rutgers really needs to make more use of this May. They need that freeze. There's Quinning, though, going right. Oh, that's a big Sigma shield. I think he also had Grasp as well. Maybe a little ill-timed, not getting out any cooldowns. But right now, they are bordering on 99, so as Bry gets into the back line, they're going to get a big advantage. Adam as well gets a boop.
Milk with the hook, trying to get the Sigma and pull him into the pit.
That's another boot from Adam. Oh, that's 2K from Adam. Some pretty high health targets as well. They're trying to just get the straggling Lucio. Bry can't quite get him with the punch.
Out comes the Death Blossom from...
Ooh, that's a dangerous punch, but it might just work out. And yes, he does go down. Quinning there to help him. Oh, look at Milk in that position.
Milk just chilling right there, right on the ledge, just joinking him into the pit.
Yeah, that was a pretty dominant performance on that King of the Hill map.
Yeah.
I suspect that maybe the halt hook was out just as a sign of confidence rather than actual strategy.
They're asserting their dominance right there. I agree with 100% with what Milk said on his stream earlier today. He said that him and Jono are just having a little bit more synergy and they're working well together. That you can definitely tell by the way this match was played out.
90% kill. Telos is all up in their business right now. From that healing and probably all his, I would suspect he's probably damage orbing almost that whole time as soon as they ran into that choke, getting all his healing back.
That Moira damage orb can be very scary sometimes, especially if you put it through a bat matrix and everything.
Yeah, definitely. So we see a pretty dominant performance on Nepal. We'll see if they can take that to their next map, which is hybrid. It will be a loser's pick, so Rutgers will be able to take the map.
I believe the map picks are, it was Kings Row, Eichenwald, and something else.
I think it's Numbani.
Numbani?
If
it's
makes
more sense.
With the previous TESPA weeks, then that should be that. We've seen a lot of Numbani.
I take that back. It's actually not Eichenwald. It's Hollywood from what I
really?
remember. So
Hollywood is one that I would kind of like to see because Double Shield, in my opinion, just has a lot more counters on that map with all the high ground available. But the most popular map by far is definitely that Kings Row map. So many people like to play it.
Yeah, I would love to see the Hollywood map pick because all you usually see is like Kings Row because since it's everybody's favorite map. I know on the Overwatch Gold team we're starting to favor Hollywood a bit more because we're starting to get a little bit more success on that map, better than Kings Row. So we're sticking to our guns with that map. So let's see if the Rutgers are going to stick to their guns and choose Kings Row, or they're going to go with a Hollywood or. What was the other pick to be?
Numbani.
Numbani,
yeah. We've seen the Bulldogs pull off a lot of Bastion strats. I know they kind of going back and forth with it as they lost their first 2 games in the Bastion mirror, but I suspect they may pull it out again. Otherwise, they might just run another composition with some level of confidence.
I can see the Bulldogs pulling out the Bastion strats back on Hollywood if they're attacking, if they're actually defending first.
Yeah, so potentially. We see it a lot in the first point holds, but I do know for sure Kings Row, we're going to be probably seeing that Zarya come out.
Yeah, Ryan Zarya.
I don't know. It would be a lot different seeing Milk on that Zarya. Normally we see a combination of Knight and Ricochet. Looks like we are swapping the teams real quick, going from blue to red. But we might, it looks like we will be seeing Milk potentially on that Zarya instead. Otherwise, they might just go for the double shield, whatever Milk is more comfortable with. I'm not sure. I've only ever seen it on support.
I've seen Ricochet practice Ryan a lot more lately. I know he said he's going to try one-tricking Ryan up to GM, or at least try one-tricking Ryan for the rest of the season.
Especially with that PTR patch coming up.
Especially for that.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen Milk on Zarya. I've seen him practice Zarya a couple times, but the main tank that I've seen him mainly play is Sigma.
Right. But I think even without like a amazingly strong Zarya player, perfect tracking, perfect bubble usage, we still, as long as you can enable both Ricochet and Bri in order to get in there, honestly, I think that's all it takes. Looks like we did a little bit of a map switch up. We'll get into there eventually.
A little oopsie on their end.
Yeah, we're playing Nepal again.
Looks like we were wrong about our maps then.
The salty run back.
Yeah.
No, but I do believe we're going to be going onto a hybrid map, so we'll see what's going on there.
Yeah, don't forget to join Ferris Esports. This could be you, and this could be you on our Twitch channel. Also, don't forget to help us pop off the power Twitch Prime.
Twitch Prime. Yeah, preach it to friend. But yeah, if you want to be involved, please check out all our social media and just start talking to us if you're a Ferris student. Besides that, just tune into the streams. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys coming out, check our stream out. Don't forget to donate bits. The bits help us with our stream, and they go towards buying better equipment, towards the club, paying for events and everything. It looks like the first map that we're going to be, next map that we're going to be playing on is Kings Row.
I see that screen. I see it going. Yeah, this is definitely this is Rutgers' pick, but it's definitely I know the Bulldogs are happy with this for sure.
What DPS are you expecting the Bulldogs to pull out?
I would expect them to just potentially go with the meta. Or I know right now we might be seeing some spawn shenanigans right now, but I would suspect meta that's somewhere between the Doomfist, the Reaper, and the Mei. I do know we've seen a lot of Bri Mei on this map, which has definitely paid off. But right now with that dominant first map, honestly I could see them doing a little bit of just trying out more picks, especially with Milk on the tank position. But I do think we are slowly getting back to meta right now.
It does look like that Milk's going to be pulling out the Zarya, and Sigma, well, they're pulling out, looks like they're undecided. Oh, looks like they're going back to double tank.
Yeah.
Double shield, excuse me.
Teased us a little bit there, back in the double shield. And again, that Bri Mei, very exciting to see.
I know that Bri prefers Mei over Doomfist on this map because he's more confident in his Mei abilities on this map than he is on
Looks like Rutgers are opting to take high ground. Bulldogs are reacting appropriately and just heading straight to point. They're trying to bait him back on. They do have a Baptiste though, so that infield is coming in very strong. Shield rotation doing their best to just keep him off point. They almost have that first stick already.
The Bulldogs tried walling up the Bastion. Looks like they weren't able to capitalize on that, but they will be able to win this fight.
Ooh, big 2K there from Adam. Actually, pretty good flank there on the Lucio. Wait, do we see a pause coming in? It looks like a member of Rutgers has disconnected, so we'll get back as soon as we can. We do know for sure, though, that first point is going to the Bulldogs.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the comp right now?
The comp right now, I think that May is definitely going to do them well. I think no matter what composition they're running into, May is just very strong in King's Row, both attack and defense, if you do it properly. But we saw that Bastion come out from Rutgers, and that May wall immediately invalidated that Bastion for a few seconds.
Yeah, that's something that I mentioned earlier before they capped the point, that the May wall came out and pushed up the Bastion. That allows your whole team to just put a lot of damage out onto that Bastion.
Right. Yeah, and whether it's trying to shoot through the May wall and just wasting the Bastion time, or even lifting him up above the shields. I mean, sometimes you give him a better angle, but most of the time he no longer has that shield support, especially no Bionic Grasp from Sigma, and he's vulnerable. But they did the right thing, just sped boost straight onto the point.
I know that the Bulldogs, Crimson Bulldogs specifically, prefer to use the May wall as a way to prop the Bastion up.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's definitely a lot of weird counterplay when it comes to the Bastion. That May wall is just very janky sometimes, but as long as you can play the rest of your team around it, I think it works out pretty well. So we saw that speed boost in, and as soon as they started trickling onto the point Rutgers, they got eliminated one at a time.
The one thing I want to know is I think the Bulldogs did a really good job of using that wall right there as a way to to avoid damage. That's really smart.
Right. Yeah, they were just really trying to bind space. I mean, the high ground hold, we've seen that several different metas, and it seems optimal in a lot of places. But I think right now in this current sustained meta, you have to just meet them on point as early as possible.
Yeah, especially with the way Overwatch has been. It's gone from more distance to more brawly type.
Yeah, definitely.
In the past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, the objective is the most important thing, so even if you're not getting picks, as long as you don't die, you're fine.
Exactly.
So in terms of ultimates, we see everybody about 50%. Of course, the Moira, though, all the way charged up. We'll see if they use this. In typical Kings Row fashion, they are going all the way back there in order to get these kills.
I can't remember. Did Rutgers have a Pharah on the first point or not?
I don't believe it. I think they just swapped for it because they had that. Oh, they still have a Bastion.
Yeah. Which is interesting. You usually see the Bastion swap off.
But no, I don't believe they did. Otherwise, I don't think Farah would have been playing on the high ground. So whatever they were on, they swapped off. But yeah, that was such a fast point A hold that I don't even remember what happened. So we'll see them all the way holding all the way at point 2 here, or point B, excuse me.
Yeah, Bulldogs are doing this to buy themselves a lot of room. This is a lot of free time for Halo to be pushed by whoever's on point. Usually Moira's the one that's on point.
Yeah, we also see though Adam already build up that sound barrier, so that's a pretty big advantage for them.
Yeah, going up there also allows them to build up more alts right there. The Bonko comes out from Ricochet right there, but it looks like it's going to go down from the Ferris from Rutgers. And out comes the May ult and a Coalescence.
Yeah, that's all I needed. I mean, I saw that Bastion setup and I was a little fearful, but I think between the shield juggling and the grasp and probably the May wall as well, the Bastion could just not break through or anything.
Yeah, I think the Coalescence should have been saved for this next team fight and everything. But it looks like another positive is going to come out, and it looks like a player has been disconnected from Rutgers' side.
Yeah, unfortunate. Maybe some internet issues, maybe some computer issues. We've all had it on Overwatch. Hopefully we can get back into this, onto the third point. But
hopefully. I think it's interesting that the Rutgers are still running the Farah, especially on the third point. Usually you don't see Farahs ran as often on third point,
right.
Or at least from my experience you haven't.
You have to have... In my opinion, if you want to do it, you have to have some sort of hold. You can't be using it defensively in this way, where you're already getting run over streets phase. You can't swap to fair to stop that happening. In my opinion, you have to be able to reset at least once in order to make that Farah proper, because she has to get a forward hold. She has to get flank angle, something. Yeah,
the Bulldogs have really not presented the opportunity for Rutgers to really reset and get a grasp of the situation at hand. So that hasn't really allowed the opportunity for Farah on Rutgers' side to build up ult and to even properly plan stuff.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, pushing up to that point B, you set up those shields and you're now playing into basically a choke. That Farah can't really get around you, even with her rockets around the shields. She can't really do much poke damage. So I can't imagine she's close to ult.
Yeah. Also the third point is more open space and everything. Usually you see Widow might be coming out from the Bulldogs if the Fair presents to be a problem.
Yeah, but I think even on this third point, with that low ceiling, I mean, you have the 2 high grounds, you have the Reaper. He can put on a decent amount of pressure onto that Pharah.
Reapers can pretty much shoot from like the high ground and hit the Pharah if needed.
Yeah, at the very least, he's making them back out. I mean, he might not win that 1v1 as long as they...
I mean, I never said it was an optimal like 1v1, but still pumping out damage on the Pharah. I mean, even if it's just some poke on them.
Yeah, and we see, I mean, on this pod screen, we see Quinning just taking that initial high ground. So that Pharah can now no longer really use that high ground as a peak.
Yeah. It also gives him the opportunity to do some poke damage to the tanks on Rutgers' side, which should help him build up ult. He's at 89% currently. So if he uses the opportunity to poke at the Rutgers tanks, he should be able to build up ult. And it looks like if I was in his mindset, I would assume that they'd be using it pretty quick. They also looks like they're going to have Graviton Flux, and I can see them comboing with that.
Yeah, we're almost definitely going to see a Flux and Death Blossom combo as soon as Quinning gets his ultimate. Very, very powerful ult. Sometimes you combine it with the Doomfist ult, but we don't see Doomfist on the attack right now. I do think that Reaper ult is definitely a little more reliable, though. Doomfist you have to time very well, and Reaper you can just kind of spin the win.
Yeah, spin the win kind of reminds me of the Beyblade meta back in the day.
Oh, I miss Beyblade meta. It was so dumb.
It was a lot of fun.
It was so dumb. But yeah, as soon as you come down from that Graviton Flux, you take half your health, and a lot of times there isn't a shield down to try to protect you from anything. So as soon as they come down, they take all that damage. Just a little touch from that Death Blossom. I mean, that's it. So while we're in this pause, we have another game coming up later, hopefully with a little less technical issues. 9:30 against Arkansas State University.
Yeah, it'll be an exciting match.
Yeah, we're now into week 8 at Tesla.
Yeah, week 8.
We're definitely seeing a lot of teams finally reaching their skill level in terms of matchups.
Yeah, I know the Overwatch Gold team is just finally able pairing up with like teams that are on their SR and everything. So we're 3 and 8 of the season, or like 3 and 7 for the season.
Right.
So we haven't played as many games as Crimson, but we're starting to even out and everything. We were first paired against like Grandmasters, and we all know how that would go. A Gold versus Grandmasters, you're just gonna get stomped for that.
Yeah, it's time, but I know that Ferris on a little bit of a losing streak. So I think now that they're in their I guess proper SR skill level ranking, whatever you want to say, they're gonna have more back and forth between wins and losses, and I think this one right now is looking closer to a win.
Hopefully, things won't be too tough on them coming further down the road. Because even when the SR evens out, sometimes even though the other team is around your SR, doesn't mean that necessarily it's going to be a tough match or a fairly even match. Sometimes it all comes down to experience. 'Cause the Crimson team's been playing together for a long time.
Yeah, second year.
The second year together. So that second year experience could help them a whole bunch.
Yeah, we are getting back into the match. Looks like the player did manage to reconnect, fortunately. And now we're seeing this point 3 that we've been talking about. Oh, exact situation. Yeah. That far is too far in. He gets that 1-2-1.
We just talked about that situation earlier.
Yeah, I mean, she tried to go in, I don't know if she was trying to go in aggressive or she was trying to peek the high ground. Either way, that Reeker gave her quite a spook.
I would assume that she was being a little bit aggressive so she can build up the rest of her ult and actually get it off.
Yeah, Hanzo on the side of Rutgers right now, taking that other high ground, forced Quinning to finally get off. See if he can find his own picks, but right now, Quinning's just waiting for this Death Blossom, trying to shark it out. And he will use it deep in the support line. Gets 2, looking to get a 3rd.
See, just gets the Mercy. So Cole comes out from Chalice as well, getting 2 with it, putting the Bulldogs up with 5 minutes, 6 seconds for the rest of the match.
Yeah, I mean, they had ults to spare almost there. Ricochet was almost getting his, Bride was almost getting his, but the Coalescence pairs surprisingly well that Death Blossom. Because a lot of times, an optimal Death Blossom is one just in the middle of the team, and you don't know what's going to happen. But that Coalescence can help keep you up along with your healing. I mean,
exactly.
It's sort of brute forcing it, but it works.
It would be interesting to see how the mindset the Rutgers have, because usually you don't see 5 minutes 6 seconds on the time bank for an opposing team, unless you're snowballed really hard. And the Bulldogs did snowball the Rutgers really hard until the last point.
Yeah, so we'll see if they try to take a different composition than meta, or maybe they try to play better. We'll see. But right now they have a pretty good time to beat.
It'll be a little debate right there. I was getting a little excited. I'm like, ooh, Sombra's coming out. This will be interesting.
I always want to see the Sombra in the meta, but I don't think anybody has the confidence for it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Sub me and I'll do it.
I can see the Rutgers running double shield, potentially even Rein Zarya with this. I can see him also breaking out the Fire again, seeing if that would work, because they do know that the Bulldogs didn't really have anything to counter Farah.
Yeah, they ran Hanzo Farah defense, which is pretty standard composition in previous metas. So honestly, I would kind of want to see it in offense because it's just better in offense. You have the poke from 2 angles. You can potentially get past the double shield, but I do know that Crimson definitely has the ability to play around it, so we'll see what happens.
You also run that Hanzo to also help with shield break right there, and you have the Farah just poking from the sky, just getting out so much damage you have to worry about from multiple angles, like I said.
Yeah, so we are seeing the Pharmacy. I did not see the other DPS quite yet, but I would not be surprised if we see the Hanzo once again. Right now, Ricochet getting a little bit bullied.
Looks like Sigma on the opposing team does have to bring out his suck, just trying to build some shields.
Oh, yep, there it is. There's the Hanzo bursting down Quinning with that Storm Arrow. This might be an early take for Rutgers. I think Crimson doing their best to rotate and just make the best of it. Bry, though, gets one in return.
Let's see if this gamble pays off for the Rutgers. It seems like it is right now, but it looks like Bulldogs are stabilizing currently right now.
Oh, that Coalescence is just staring straight at the Farah. Unfortunately, it's a hard balance between healing your team and damaging the other team, and that barrage along with that Mercy.
That barrage was wild right there. Just getting 3K right there from Rutgers. That basically just gave him the point right there.
We are seeing a Bry McCree. Oh, he got Moiraed. He got Moiraed so hard there.
It does look like Bry will switch off the Doomfist, obviously, to the McCree.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Bry McCree. In previous Tesla matches, he has just absolutely dominated Farah matchups. Right now, Adam going to speed him back and to get him back into this fight.
Yeah, Bry's McCree is very nutty. We'll see how he kicks on this Farah. It seems like this Farah is taking advantage of the time that Bry's not even there to try and build up more ult charge.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out on King's Row especially, where you have tons of cover as this Farah. It's a very narrow map, but all of the roofs you're able to fly over, which you can abuse as certain heroes, especially Farah.
Yeah, points 1 and 2 are very optimal for Farah. As I said earlier, I don't think point 3 is very optimal for her because you have more wide open spaces and less area used for cover. But it does look like it does go down from Sigma.
Yeah, just kind of just random burst damage. There's another barrage coming in, but Adam will get that kill. A big shield from Milk. Right now, Bry is actually, I think he's on the flank, but he finally does go down.
But it does look like that the Farah will be rest again and see if how much ult charge that hurts.
This is a big Coalescence. Right now, they're playing a disparity, but Bulldogs, I think, are back into it.
Yeah, it looks like the Bulldogs are taking a huge gamble and putting everything into this team fight.
Yeah, and I think it's paying off in the end. The Rutgers Sigma as well gets his own, but too little too late. That was barely in it. Wow. Ultimate's coming on the line just on time, and Ferris holds right before point 2.
Yeah, how many ults did they end up using that fight? I believe it was 4. No, 3. It was just 3 of them.
Yeah. I mean, they started with that Coalescence was definitely the decider of whether they're going to try to keep this point or not. I think they were down like 3 to 4, something like that. And that Ferris was able to be burst down by Coalescence. At that point, it was tanks v tanks, and it was Milk who got his Graviton Flux up first.
Yeah, let's see if Bry takes the flanking McCree round and high noons from behind, see if he can get a big play or not.
Oh, I don't think he'll need it. Ricochet is deep into there. That was a very aggressive push there. The res just managed to come in, but I think it's very too little.
Yeah, usually in double shield, if you see the enemy team shield going down, you want to play a little bit more aggressive as a Risa, especially when you have Fortify, because you take half the amount of damage you would usually take.
Yeah, he just literally just walks around with shields. I mean, they understood they had advantage initiating first, and they made the best of it. We have some more ultimates coming online. Looks like 4 coming up here for the Bulldogs.
It also looks like that the Farah is swapped to the Doomfist, but it looks like that Rutgers are opting to keep the Mercy. I believe that the Mercy will have her Valkyrie, and it looks like they might be using this next fight.
Yeah, High Noon, not the ultimate I was expecting to do good, but Quinning right now, both Quinning and Bry just going on a rampage. Bry just getting a raw High Noon, Quinning going on flank and getting one as well.
It seems like both DPS are synergizing really well. Great callouts seems like coming from both those two, going in and just killing people. Bulldogs are playing a little aggressive right now. Just trying to spawn camp them and see if they can build up a little bit more outcharge.
Yeah, probably just doing aim practice right now. They're going to be holding once aggressive once again. Cart is going back as we speak. Hanzo almost went down, has lost run away to his team.
It looks like that they will be using Bongo this fight. Bongo Reaper ult is really scary to see sometimes.
Yeah, more than likely, and there it is. They will try to keep this momentum. They do bait out 2 ultimates, so even if they do lose this, it's maybe for the best, but they do invest 2 of their own.
It looks like the colas coming out from Tiny Hippo from the Rutgers does pay off, getting 3 people.
Yeah, but that aggressive hold paid off because now we see that cart still has a good ways to go. And with this Lucio speed boost, they'll be able to get another fight easy.
Yeah, one more team fight just to contest the point. See if the Bulldogs will be able to pull through with this.
Yeah, we'll pay attention to Quinning here to see if he invests his ultimate. The cart is slowly approaching. They need someone onto it. I think Ferris will be the first one as he's now on that Doomfist.
Yeah, if I were playing that Reaper situation, I would try to take the high ground, but obviously that'd be a little bit
Ooh, right into the back line. It does get grasped, but he does get one on his way out.
I believe the Soundbeard came out from Adam right there. Yeah, the Soundbeard came out from Adam trying to keep Quinning alive. Just wasn't quite able. But Bulldogs will win this team fight with Tells getting 3.
Yeah, I think what we saw was the effect of Sound Barrier on shields. I think potentially Quinning was just caught behind a shield as he was Death Blossoming, did not get that extra health.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, Lucio is line of sight usually.
Yeah, which
if you're behind a shield as a character, you won't get I should clarify the opposing team shield. You won't get that shields from your Lucio.
Yeah, it's surprisingly random, especially in this meta. So sometimes things just happen that way. But they did win the fight, and right now Bry's making sure that they win another one. Gets an early kill onto that Hanzo, potentially from a flank route. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Ferris pushing in straight on the Rutgers, and Rutgers trying to fall back, but looks like they're just going to keep on going in a little bit, actually.
Oh, there's a flex coming up here for Milk. That's a big one.
It's a huge one right there.
Oh.
Let's see if we can get how many people he gets. That's a huge bear coming out from the opposing team's Lucio.
Oh, it looked big, but in the end, I think I actually got very little. I think 2 escaped it, and the last 2 that were in it were the Orisa and Reaper. Two of the few characters that actually just straight up get out of it with a
even if you got few
ability.
people in it, he did a decent amount of damage to those opposed people, and that helped turn the tide of that team fight. They actually ended up winning that, even if Rutgers did use 3 ults.
Yeah, right now, this Hanzo is going to be taking this high ground control, trying to deny it from any of the Bulldogs DPS, but I think Bry might have something to say about that as he's trying to just brawl anybody that they're opposing to try to play.
Bry's ult is going to be coming online pretty soon. Looks like
ooh, that was an environmental kill there.
Ooh,
a very great angle from Ricochet there. Adam with the saving sound barrier just to make sure that they can solidify here. Chasing them back into their spawns. Another great halt there from Ricochet, just kind of popping off in the Orisa right now.
Yeah, Rutgers having to retreat back to their spawn just to heal up and just wait for their team. I can see Bry and Ricochet just doing a pull a Doom ult combo right there. See how Ferris is going to be able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, we're probably going to see a combo here. I mean, there's only 1 fight left, so I expect both ultimates coming out. Rutgers may have some of their own, though. Yeah, there's the Bongo coming in. Pretty aggressive right on the cart. Oh, Ricochet just going a little bit too far, though. Didn't have his team support quite yet. Bry, though, doesn't need team support. He has his ultimate.
Yeah, he's just taking out the Mora, really even that team fight right there.
Yeah, I think he got 2 or 3 there, and he's just looking to maybe potentially clean up the rest of them. A big slam, gets 1, trying to get the other. Just bowling that Sigma away. The emergency wrecking ball is out for Rutgers.
Yeah.
And we're also seeing the Reinhardt there from Ricochet. Gets you a better time back, but also just have that rapid swing power.
Quinning coming out with his killing 2 people and then killing a 3rd person. Thus securing the team fight in the map for Ferris.
Yeah, big skirmish there. Everybody using their ults as soon as they get them. But it was definitely Crimson with the positional advantage playing that defense. They kept picking off people as soon as they came in, especially Bry just slamming from the high ground. So you play the game, Moira as she is.
Yeah, looks like the majority of it actually came from her ult and mixed with the little other.
Yeah, that was actually very aggressive there. I think that was one of the sort of time-turning battles there for Rutgers.
39 eliminations for 65% kill participation.
Yeah, just getting tons of values from those orbs. And that is it. That'll be it versus FSU versus Rutgers. That'll be 1-0 for the day.
Yeah, 1-0 for the day. It's exciting. So it puts them at 9-6 for the season.
Yeah.
See if the Bulldogs can pull out another W in their next match against Arkansas. Is there anything that you like see the Bulldogs improve upon, or anything that you saw that was good?
Improve upon. We might see a different type of player. The next team coming in, some more kind of developed strats, and I think against them, they just need to keep doing what they're doing, but they need to keep their head in it as much as possible. I think their ultimate economy through that match was pretty darn good, but especially we need to see, I think, a little bit more conservative play from the side of Ricochet. I think that was the only misstep throughout those two matches.
Ricochet is usually a more aggressive player. I know when he played Ryan last season, he was really aggressive back then.
Absolutely.
And that's something he's been toning back on, which he has done really good at. And I'm proud of him for doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, with his tank swap with Milk, I think it's working out pretty well. They just need to make sure they have all that synergies, and I think they're slowly building it up through these games.
Yeah.
I know they have a little bit of scrim time, I'm sure, but this is finally, testing it out for the first time. And Quinning as well. I mean, brand new player.
Yeah. I believe this is the first week that they're testing out Quinning and everything right now. So in place of Carmel, I know Carmel is a really good DPS, but let's see how things go with Quinning and for Bry. So definitely seems like both have a great synergy with each other.
Yeah, Quinning for sure seems to be filling Carmel's shoes pretty well. I mean, right now the full-time Reaper duty, a composition that I think Crimson is very well used to, playing around, and I think the difference between Carmel and Quinning potentially is just sort of more flank versus more team-oriented. I'd say Quinning so far has been pretty far team-oriented. He hasn't been doing any huge teleports to get those Death Blossoms. Most of the time, he's actually just been walking straight in.
Yeah, I can tell that Carmel Man, with his flanks, have a little bit more aggressive play style. And like you said, Quinning is more of a team player, sticking with the team, so that shows a bit more of a passive style and everything, which I think is interesting. Because it I think the passive style complements Bry a little bit more, because I think Bry's a little bit more conservative, Doofus and everything. He's also conservative May and everything.
I think it's kind of a push and pull between the DPS sometimes, where especially if the team has enemy Doomfist, which they did not in that match, so I think they kind of got to do more of their own things. But if the team has other team has a really good Doomfist, somebody has to be on duty to try to stop at Doomfist, whether it's the Reaper or your own Doom.
Yeah. I'm hoping that Arkansas will pull out the Doomfist, and because I would love to see how Quinning and how Bry work together up against the Doomfist and everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of little microstrats there. I know previous matches in Tespa that I commentated, we would see Bry just kind of kite back behind his team, wait for the enemy Doomfist to come in, and just punch him himself.
Yeah, just playing the waiting game and everything, which usually does, which I like to see. You don't really see that with Doomfist. Usually you see Doomfist going in and everything, punching in, uppercutting up in there, and then using their seismic slam to get back to their team just for the heals, and then waiting for their cooldowns to come back.
Yeah, it's all about just interrupting that flow. And then you still have the Reaper, and the Reaper can flank while the Doom is sort of kind of sharking the other Doom. You always need I would think you'd always need at least one player to flank just to put on that pressure, because if you're playing just behind the shields constantly, on certain maps, the enemy just has plenty of time to set up around you with the Reaper and the Doom. And, I mean, with the Doom, the shields aren't going to stop anything.
Exactly.
So if he has enough time to set up where he needs to be, then he's getting very little pressure.
Yeah, like you said, that's mainly why he's played in this meta. He's a staple in this meta because he's able to go through shields. He's able to punch through shields and everything. That's why you don't see Reinhardt play that often.
Yeah.
Because if you're playing Reinhardt, yes, you do have a shield, but you're the shield. You're walking as a shield.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're punched away from your team has no shield.
Yeah, that Orisa, between being able to leave her shield, between her pretty good damage output with her fusion drivers, and especially her halt, they're all things that can potentially counter flankers, and Ryan just really doesn't have any of that right now.
Especially, like you said, with the pole. The pole combos really well with the Doomfist. All the opposing players together that are within range of it. And if you get them just in the center of the Doomfist stall, you can be potentially really deadly with it.
I like how lore-wise, Orisa is supposed to be just a hard counter to Doom, but in team compositions, they're great synergies.
Exactly.
It's pretty funny how that works out.
It's a little ironic.
Yeah, so coming up at 9:30, we have a match with Arkansas University, as we mentioned. We'd like to give a quick shout-out to our social media. Check out our Twitter, at Ferris Esports. And if you go to ferrisesports.club, that is not .com, that is .club, you will find all of the rest of our links to things, both Facebook and Discord. Discord especially. If you want to get involved with anything, go to our Discord. Everybody talks there. Everybody communicates there. And then if you're here on campus, the Big Rapids campus?
Yeah, if you're on the Big Rapids campus, we're in the University Building, UCB, room 211, 11 a.m. on Thursdays, every other week. We just had a meeting last week, so we won't be meeting this week. I'm pretty sure we won't be meeting next week, because if we're here, what are you doing here? Because it's Thanksgiving. I mean, not this week, but like the next week.
Yeah, but we'll everything will be announced in Discord, so you don't have to keep track of it yourself. So if you're on the Discord, then you'll get all the notifications. You'll be good.
Yeah, if you're looking to play casually or competitively, like Hunter said, join our Discord. A lot of people on our Discord server play like casually and everything. Some people play competitively, but I like playing casually, and a lot more people play casually. I know some people play Smite on there. Some people play Apex. Some people play Fortnite, I believe.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much about that, but I do know that Call of Duty's starting to pick up and everything with that. Like I said, also, if you're interested in starting Call of Duty team, please message us or please join the server, talk about it. Tesla just started a collegiate duo. I believe it's collegiate duo and everything with the prize. I'm not sure what the cash prize is, but with the prize money and everything with that.
By collegiate duo, do you mean 2-player teams?
Yeah, duos, I believe.
Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that because most of our Tesla teams, I mean, even Hearthstone, which is typically a single-player game, is teams of 3.
Yeah. Speaking of Hearthstone, if you're interested in also playing Hearthstone, don't forget to join the Discord server. We had a Hearthstone team last year, but we don't have one this year because there wasn't enough interest. So if you're interested, we can just start up one. I believe we can get one registered just in time for the regular season for Tesla.
Yeah, I think right now with the semester changing and the new Tesla brackets coming along, we're gonna have a lot of open spots or just teams looking to find other players. So if you have any games that you play, ones that we run, I mean, Overwatch, Rocket League, League of Legends, R6, we have a little bit, I don't know if we're doing CSGO. Fortnite is started up.
We had a CSGO team. There was a lot of garner interest for CSGO.
Right.
There's also I know Apex is starting to garner attention in the esports world. If you're looking to play Apex competitively and you know of a league and you want to play in it, just go ahead and message your president. Ferris Esports Club will cover any entry fees for that as well.
Or any of our e-board members will help you out. But yeah, we're housing as many teams as we can. So whether you're on a team or whether you're playing individually in like competitive Minesweeper or something, I don't know. We're down to have you. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in for our
first match.
Yeah, we have another one coming up.
Don't wrap it up quite yet.
At 9:30. 1-0. We're now 9-6.
9-6. Yep.
We're hoping to make that the Big Ten.
Big Ten, no. Big Ten 6.
Yeah.
Me.
So hopefully Crimson players can ride this momentum. I think they do. I think they're a very feeling-based team.
Yeah, I think this win will be a breath of like fresh air that they need, especially after how many games they've been losing and everything. This will change their mindset.
Yeah. So we'll be right back in about 40 minutes or so at 9:30. We'll see you then. We'll be there just before the game starts to talk. And thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out.